on Spotify or any other platform, social media and stuff. And something really important for me is also like if the artist or the band has like a team around. So if they already have a manager or a PR office or stuff like that, because of course like it makes. I'm sure that the artist has a clear idea of what is he or she's doing and clear goals and stuff. So it's always, and it's really nice to work in a full team, not only like booking agency. So yeah, those are the aspects I analyze after having fallen in love with the project. And and what was the other question?
Yeah, like has it changed for you, like what you look for in an artist in the recent years, or you have the same working method?
Well, I don't know, like maybe in the last few years I've been attending also a lot of showcase festivals, so that made it easier for me. Like before I was more like discovering new artists through platforms basically, and right now I'm discovering a lot of international artists through showcase festivals and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you, Joanna?
In case of Waves Vienna, we get a lot of applications. So we have an open call that's for like 4 to 5 months online, and a lot of bands really apply, and it's like almost 2,500 applications. So for me as the booker, it's a different process of choosing, you know, because I have all the information about the artist in this one file, and so it's kind also of a feeling when I open this and I listen. I don't have a lot of time to really, you know, go down the whole story, and I try to really dive into that, but realistically it's not a lot of time. And so it's a momentum and it's a feeling I get when I open this and read about the artists. How is the CI, how is the first impression when I click play, and usually I want to see all the bands that I book live, you know, because that's, in my opinion, one of the most important things, because feeling and emotion can only be transported if you are face to face, kind of. And I think it's a bit, it's a pity that I don't have the time to get the chance to see all the bands live, but I try to, get a little bit of a feeling for that. So I think that changed, you know, because it's so many applications, so many bands want to play showcase festivals, because obviously that's a big step, or it's one of, Waves Vienna is one of the smaller showcase festivals. So if you have want to do gradual growth, it's the first step, kind of. And
and it has a really good reputation and has been a catapult for many bands, I think, to play abroad. And so how many of you work on Waves, on the booking team side? Is it just you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's tough. And can you share some insights into how you, what's your process with, you know, just going through the 2,500? Like, people should be fast, and, you know, the first comes, first served.
And how long does it take?
Well, I usually start, the kickoff was actually last week when I was at Reeperbahn Festival, where I got to see a lot of bands, which is really great. And then Eurosonic, and this is kind of the kickstart when we open our open call. So the application is open, and then I try to, you know, step by step listen to the acts, but I also get a lot of emails, obviously. So I need to kind of have my own system. I think the good thing is that I'm really a structural worker, so which helps me in that case. And yeah, I try to listen to all of them. That's the first thing actually I do before I even read the bio or look at the pictures. We have this player in our application form, and I click it, and then usually something comes up in my head. It's totally random things, but as the stronger the feeling is when I listen to a song, usually the better. Or I don't know. I cannot describe, but you maybe know it if you listen to music. And yeah, so that's basically the first thing I do, and then work from there. And also, obviously, I check the socials, I check Spotify or other streaming services, because as we all know, stats are not unimportant. I hate to say that as an artist, because I'm fighting this battle also. But yeah, we have to take a look at this and see at what point the artist is, and if there is a team already around the artist. As you said, it's always good to work with a team, because a manager or a label, they can guide the artist through this whole showcase experience, which is really important, because otherwise you won't benefit from it.
Yeah, I guess especially like for a showcase festival, no? Because I mean, if the artist come by himself or herself, it's quite hard to networking and everything. So yeah.
And I think it's also the artists, they should do their art. They should just do that, and not like networking all day. And I'm not a fan of like having these two roles in one setting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, also because not all of them have the attitude to do it, because like, yeah, I don't know,
Fair
maybe
enough.
they hate it. No, I mean, like I have had artists that could sell better than me, so they were great, but others were like really shy or really don't like to interact with people to explain their own project. So it's fair. I mean, it's
And
not
do
their
you
job.
try to go to most of the shows that you book also?
Yeah. Now it's hard
Yeah.
to follow all of them, but yeah, especially showcase festivals, because it's like really important for us to be there and help the.
How many artists do you work with now?
Like 4 from the Italian agency and 3-4 from the Spanish agency. Yeah.
And do you focus on these two markets mainly, or all of Europe, or
all over Europe, but mostly on those 2 markets. Yeah.
Spain is quite like a blind spot for me in terms of tours and bookings and stuff like that.
There
How
is a
it
big
for
market actually. It's really big. Well, some of the biggest festivals are there, like Primavera Sound, Sonar, BBK. What was your question?
Yeah, like in terms of the audiences and touring in Spain, how do you find it? Is it like very local focused, or?
It is really local, not Italian. I mean, like there are no Italians almost playing there, like only Maneskin or something like that. And the same in Italy with the Spanish. Like there is no bridge within the 2 countries, so that's what I'm trying to build. But it's really interesting because Spain is really well connected to to Latin America. So like every time I'm talking to like a Spanish artist, they're all saying, like even if they're really small, they're like, oh, next week I'm gonna play in Mexico and stuff. Like for Italian artists, something like really, like they don't even imagine that, But
I guess because of the language, it's a logical choice. Do you try to? How many artists do you have to fill? Like how many slots do you have to?
Over 100, so about 103. We had 101 last waves edition.
And how do you play around with having more well-known names and artists that you just really love and would like to give the stage? Do you have some sort of internal, dynamics in place for that?
Well, we are a bit limited since we have almost only small venues, so really club-sized. the biggest venue is 300 capacity, so I'm limited. Like I cannot like invite a really big act from UK or wherever. So and also my budget is limited, so that's why we really focus on like up and coming artists, like newcomer artists who have a team already, like a label or management, and so yeah, that's our focus when doing the program for Waves. Yes, and we had 100 acts from 26 countries, so it's a really diverse lineup country-wise, but also we had over 70% of female artists or flinter persons in the lineup, so which I'm personally really proud of, and yeah.
70%. Yeah, cool. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, so a lot of people talk about going to showcases as finding the right time for that and being ready for it. And do you have any concept around that? Like when do you consider your band is ready to go to Reeperbahn or Waves or any of those?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, as we were saying before, it's really important that the artists have already a team. So not only us as agency, but also managers and stuff. And also, it's important that that they have like a artistic identity, like a strong artistic identity, and coherent storytelling that goes along with the project. We usually avoid apply for artists that have just started, or I don't know. We usually follow like a process, which is like starting from small markets or regional market or the hometown of the project or of the people playing, and then growing slowly through. I mean, towards the whole nation, and then afterward, when they have a strong, how do you say? Yeah, when we have built a bit more in the country, then they're ready to.
Okay, so you're trying to build their presence in Italy first.
Yeah,
and then,
unless the project is really like, I don't know, like for example, right now I'm working with an artist that is called Daniela Pes. She's from Italy. And she has published her first album 1.5 years ago. But when I listened to it, I was like, okay, this is really international. And so we started like almost immediately, like both, like going through Italian market and international market, and it's going really well. And but like I could hear it that it could fit in other markets as well, because it's not so easy, because some projects are like really Italian, like maybe really based on lyrics as well, so on Italian lyrics, so it's a bit harder to export it.
Yeah, it's the same for Hungarians also, like they sometimes have to choose between singing in Hungarian and writing in Hungarian versus, you know, English, let's say, and then trying to go abroad, and it's always and if they do it in English, then it's harder to get recognized in Hungary.
Right. Well, actually, I'm a fan of like our own language as well. I mean, I don't feel it like a barrier that much. It is, of course, a little bit, but it's really cool that. I mean, like in Italy, we listen to a lot of French music, for example. We don't understand anything unless you speak French. But even English music, like Italian people are really bad at speaking in English. So like we don't really get the lyrics that much, but still we listen to it.
Yeah, but people love Italian, you know, even if they don't understand that.
They're
That's
so it
easier.
can work, but some of them are like really Italian indie music that is working really well in Italy. Maybe they're huge in Italy, but it doesn't work outside. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, how are you?
Well, we have this trend or this like development in Austria too, since Bilderbuch or Wanda went like really huge. They were the first ones that, I mean, besides Falco and, you know, but they really made a step out of, even out of GSA, but their project is in German. So that was, it made kind of click, and other artists, they switched even from English, made new projects to German, including myself. I started a solo project in German, but as you said, it's, in English sometimes you have like this kind of a shield where you, or at least that's my view, and singing in my mother tongue is a whole different story, because at least I had the feeling that I opened so much more and I told so much more about myself, you know. But I respect also if artists say, no, I want to do it in English. And also the international approach obviously is, I wouldn't say better, but maybe if you want to go international and like have more markets, English is obviously a good choice. But I wouldn't say that singing in your mother tongue is giving you a lot of borders. Also at Waves, I booked so many artists where I do not understand anything, and it was so nice to watch the artists because I could focus on the music. I think lyrics are really important, don't get me wrong, but it kind of got me back to listening and just like feeling music.
Yeah, sorry.
Actually, something really interesting. In Italy now, 2 bands are getting really big. One of them is from Belgium, but they sing in Italian, like really bad Italian. You can't even understand what they're saying. And the other one is French, and they also sing in Italian. And
that's the way to crack the Italian.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like if you talk to them, to the band, they can't speak any word in Italian. It's really funny. Like, and they're becoming huge in Italy, and not in their own country, I guess. But yeah.
And how's the audience in Italy? Is it very divided and I don't know, the indie scene is smaller, bigger, medium,
indie
mainstream?
Scene?
Yeah, or
yeah,
what's the landscape there?
No, the indie scene is really big. It's getting like probably the biggest together with, well, it's almost pop, I would say. And there is a lot of electronic music. Actually, there is a showcase festival in Holland that is
ADE?
Yeah. And there are always a lot of Italian playing there. But yeah, and yeah, so it's mostly pop music, mainstream music, of course, but there are some interesting niche that are getting quite big. Yeah.
And is the country like big enough to support, you know, acts who have a good presence in the country to go abroad? Like, can they build a good enough foundation to be able to afford to?
No, not at all. As I was telling you before, you mean like for Italian artists to go abroad? Yeah. No, as I was telling you before, we used to have, but we still have a export office where I was working, but it's funded by the Italian Collecting Society, and they're not funding anymore, so we're gonna lose it, I guess, or something. Okay. So yeah, and we have some regional export offices, and there are some regions that are really, really strong. So, for example, if you are from Puglia in the south, you have a lot of money to go abroad, but other regions don't really have that.
Okay. Do you work with a lot of export offices at Waves Vienna?
Yes, that's a really important thing actually, because otherwise artists wouldn't have the chance to, you know, travel to Austria and cover the costs, because we only, or all the showcase festivals actually, they pay really bad. And it's kind of a production fee you get, and then you can also apply for travel costs or like some support. And here it's really important to work with the export offices. And in Austria we are really lucky. there are a lot of funding programs also, like NASOM, it's called New Austrian Sound of Music, where you are if you are lucky to be chosen, then you are 2 years in this pool of artists, and then all the cultural offices all over, like wherever there is a cultural office from Austria, they can book you and they split the costs. So it really enables also like acts to export. And
do you see them as creative, like filtering also, or more like a practical good help?
I think it's more practical. I mean, they obviously look which of the artists are like ready to take this step, and yeah.
Do you book the same band twice, 3 times, or more than once?
At Waves, no, because the aim should be that they grow further, and after Waves, Reeperbahn, Eurosonic, Ment, Great Escape, no, and so it happened that there was a band at Waves 2 times. I wouldn't say categorically no, but it happens, of course. But can I ask you a question? Since you said that the export in Italy is shutting down, maybe?
Kind of.
How do you, if you have an export strategy for one of your artists, for example, the Italian...
The one I was saying,
yes,
Daniela Pes.
Daniela Pes, okay. If you want to, it's working for her in an international market, how do you make this possible for her to travel, to like get the money for it?
So we are working with our own forces. I mean, like we're just booking festivals that pay for trips and everything. But we still have some grants from the Ministry of Culture. So actually with her we won one of them. So the tour, this year tour will be funded by that grant. But yeah, we just have to work on our own.
Be creative.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but of course, like right now with her it's going really well, so it's fine. But with other small artists, it's so hard because we really need help at the beginning. I mean,
do you try to plan somehow before you book an artist to Spain, let's say another country? Do you try to, go along a strategy and just work in that country before you go there somehow?
Definitely.
What are the steps that you do?
Well, first of all, to export artists, we are working a lot, of course, with showcase festivals. And then when we see there is a strong interest from one country, for example, I don't know, through the listens, through the statistics and stuff, we mostly focus on one specific country and start working there. So through a PR office, like we look for collaborations, a local booking agency. We work a lot with other agencies. And yeah.
Do you try to swap like artists from their roster and try to convince them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in terms of marketing or radio or anything like that, do you work on that, or that's more like the management of the label's job?
It's not myself, but of course I'm aware of what's happening, and we usually look also for marketing. I mean, someone in charge of marketing in the country where we're going. And
do you see a lot of bands or any number of bands who, let's say, go, successful or go viral with a hit and a song, and they suddenly pop up on your radar, and maybe they apply even, but they haven't really made many shows or gigs? Like, do you try to catch them at this stage, or you're more, holding back that you are not the testing ground or whatever, but for more established acts?
I try to have that in mind, definitely. But I think once an act really got viral, you know, and it's at a certain point already. Sometimes it's for waves at least a bit too late already. So at least that was my thing that I recognized over the last year. For example, Strong Boy, that's the new project of Alice Fibilou. Maybe you know her. And I tried to book them for waves. And obviously her solo project is really big already. And I thought, okay, let's book like her second project. I was like negotiating with the management and everything, and I was already at the point like where we just had to seal the deal, kind of. And then like at the last moment, she would have been like one of our headliners. So, and then I got the email, okay, they got the chance to have like a really huge support tour in Europe for a really big artist, so they had to cancel waves, obviously. And that's a pity. But some things like that happen, you know, and but in my view, like only if a band goes viral or like has huge success, let's say at TikTok or Instagram, for me, I always want to check the live appearance, you know, because for me these are two different pair of shoes, and I also, last week at Reeperbahn, I saw Good Neighbors. I don't know if you know them. They have like one hit, it's called Home, and it's like, if you hear it, you know it, I think. And I went to their show, and then like the front man, he was like, okay, you probably all here because you know just one song of us. You probably don't know who we are, but we have this one song, you know, from TikTok or Insta, whatever. And then he's like, we'll play a couple of other songs. Don't worry, Home will come. And I was like, is this, I don't know. Do I wanna, you know, be in contact like this? I mean, it's cool for them. They are big now. But it's, I don't know, it was kind of weird also to just hang everything up on this one viral moment.
Yeah, that's what the guys from the previous panel talked about, how it's when an artist becomes like detached from that song, and it's really hard to attach it back and just, you know, build the career from there. Yeah, and actually I was talking to one of the guys here from the audience before. He said that some of their songs or their music actually tends to be more popular outside of Hungary than here. And I don't know if you have that experience with any of your band. But do you have any suggestions for situations like that when your home country is not a strong background, you know, but you still feel like you have an audience out there? What sort of?
You mean when you have an audience outside of your home country?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you work with a band like that? And what sort of?
Not really, actually. I'm thinking, but no, I don't think so. Do you?
Some friends of mine in Austria, they the front, like the singer, Patricia, she's from Barcelona, and they're based in Vienna, so they have a label in Austria and everything. So they tried to build up everything in Austria. They sing in English, and then they had a management from Barcelona, and somehow they worked around Austria now. So they didn't really get quite the attention in Austria, not even radio airplay or something. And now they supported Giant Rooks in Spain for their Spain shows, you know. And now they're getting really big in Spain, which is great because that's her home country. And I think for Austria, like all the Austrians in the bubble, they're like now, okay, what's happening? Why? And I think it for Austria at least, Austria is really small, sometimes really narrow-minded. It's good if an act like comes from outside back to Austria again, because they sometimes need some time to really
justification
get it.
Or like a proof from outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And have you ever worked with a Hungarian band say? Would you work with a Hungarian band for Italy?
Of course, yeah.
Just because you're here. But what would you?
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I don't want like only bands from specific states. I don't mind wherever they're from.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
And for someone who's interested in Italy for some reason and going there, touring there, what would you suggest? Like, what would be the best stepping stones to enter Italy?
Yeah. Well, I think it would be really important to work with someone from there, and to
From a label or booking or
booking, or it depends on what the focus is. But yeah, and start from we have a lot of summer festivals, like a lot all over Italy. While during winter, the south is like off. I mean, like nothing happens in the south, basically. Well, also because many people are going to the north.
What do you call south? Like south of Rome?
South of Rome, yeah, I would say, yeah. So yeah, I would focus on clubs in the north of Italy during winter, and starting, of course, from smaller clubs, and then start growing like with capacity.
What could a band expect from a small club? Do they pay a fee or?
Yeah, they usually do. Yeah. Of course, depending on the capacity, but not huge fees at the beginning. But yeah.
Are they open to unknown foreign acts? And
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I mean, of course, it's gonna be harder if. I mean, not harder. It's not really gonna happen to only have the unknown band and that's it on the lineup. But if it's together with other artists, they're actually open to. I mean, put new names and see what happens, and yeah. Of course they need another name that brings people paying.
Sure. Yeah, so someone locally, like a booking agent or someone, and okay. And a question to you: can you use your experience from being a booker in your own career as a musician, and can you like turn back some knowledge? And
do you sell yourself?
Do I book myself? No, I try to separate that really, because I think it's a totally different role also, and I'm happy to have to meet a lot of people and have contact, and build leverage connections. As we all do, because you wouldn't be here if you don't want to do that, But I think as an artist, you come with another aim, and as a booker too. So.
Yeah, but let's say because you receive so many applications and a lot of just how the bands present themselves, you probably learn a few things or two from those, like what works, what doesn't work. Or maybe it just works for you, for someone else, it wouldn't. Do you have any good advice on that? How to present a band?
I think it's important to be consistent and have patience. Like if you love what you do, then just keep doing it, because at some point somebody will notice it and will feel like your passion. And at least that's what I like about my job. Also, if I meet people who are they don't really have to come and do like a presentation. Oh, that's my band, and I want to play there, and this is my plan, and this is my long-term blah blah blah. It's more like being open, and like down the line, it's music, and that's like it connects us all at some point, and. Yeah, I'm glad that you all came also, because that's some exchange that we all have but we all benefit from these interactions and these talks, and so
sure.
Great.
Do you guys have any questions? No, guys from New York? No.
Actually, I was curious how you do the open call. How do you access the open call for Waves BN?
we post it on our website. There is a newsletter where you get notified, and yeah, it's open for 4 months, and we end of January, so after Eurosonic. Yep.
Do you use GigMeet?
GigMeet also, yes. We have this one called directly from our website and also on GigMeet. And we sometimes, maybe for the Hungarian people it's interesting, we do sometimes an open call also for like Hungarian bands, and because we always collaborate in some way. We also had some great Hungarian bands at this year's Waves. So, and we...
Who was there this year?
Ville. Puzzles, Nora, and hi, and Immortal Onion is from Poland. Sorry, Noemi Barkocki. Yeah. So there will be at least some like acts there always every year, and yeah, somebody sent us some songs. And we got to listen to them already, so, but we're gonna talk about it later. Please apply. I'm happy to have you, maybe, at Vienna.
Yeah, and you know, about Austria in general, like, what sort of strategy do you think might work if an artist wants to go there?
In Austria?
Yeah, in general in Austria. Yeah.
I mean, it's a small market, and also, as you said, working with partners there. Maybe some promoters or agents, and really exchange ideas and get to know the market, and yeah.
Could Waves be a good stepping stone for that, to meet bookers from Austria?
Yes, definitely. So the whole music scene is basically there at the conference and also at the festival, and it's all really close together, like the venues where the artists play and also the conference. If it's your first showcase festival maybe, or if you're not really experienced in doing all the networking stuff, then Waves is a great opportunity, because it's really easy to connect and get to know a lot of people.
And can I ask, like, what are the plans for Waves for the next few years? Do you have any, I don't know, big ideas where the festival should go to, or how it should present the music scene and industry?
Last year we had a guest of honor, Colombia, and we did a exchange mission in Colombia, where, like, a fact-finding mission, where the Austrian music export, we are really close. Waves Vienna is really close working with the export. So. And they went to Bogota, and they had like this mission and got to know a lot of professionals from the scene there, since it's a really big market and a great opportunity also for bands to expand there. And so we tried to like put like this whole Colombia focus in our conference, and also we had some Colombian bands there, and this is something we want to do also the next year, because it's a bigger project. We also want to send invite some delegates from Colombia and travel around Europe and like show them our market kind of, and so that's something, a long-term goal. And also we have 15 years of Wave next year, so nice. There will be some specials, I'm sure. But we just finished our last edition some weeks ago, so we're still working. Like, we are in the process after the festivals. But yeah.
But do you have a connection? I mean, are you creating like a connection with a showcase festival there, or just in Colombia? Or
we from the Bogota Music Week or something. So our people, they basically connected with them, and we also wanted to have more delegates from Colombia in Vienna. It wasn't that many due to financial reasons, obviously, but that's something we really want to work on, to have also like even more internationals there, like from other really big markets, and so that's also really interesting.
South America is super exciting, but all of the countries are so big, and to travel in any of them, it's just challenge on its own to get to one city to another. But that's really exciting, yeah. And for you, Tilda, any plans for the next couple of years?
Yes, I also was telling before, I'm really trying to connect the two countries I'm from and I live in, so Spain and Italy. And I'm trying to do it through the booking, but also through like collaboration within artists. So I'm trying to select some artists from Spain and Italy that could work together and trying to make it happen.
You try to get them to write songs, perhaps?
Yeah.
Together? Yeah.
Yeah, or do like residencies together and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions? No? Okay. Well, then I also asked in the previous panel from the people, probably it's more relevant to you, about these single-person bands versus bigger bands. Do you see it in your work of line, this kind of trend, that
What do you
the
mean?
bands are shrinking in terms of people?
Yeah, actually, yes. But it's also funny because I'm happy when they're smaller because it's easier to.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, actually, I really love big bands. Like one of the artists I work with have like they're 8, 9 sometimes. So of course it's harder, but then the result is wonderful. I love it, of course. But yeah, it's easier, of course, and especially in Italy, production costs, like everywhere, I think, are getting higher. So when and also hotels and stuff. So when the promoters see that there are 8 people, they're like, "Oh no!" Like,
Yeah,
I have
so this,
to book
I would
a
imagine
room.
a smaller band just it opens up, the traveling and the opportunities just open up more. Do you see
To
that?
be smaller.
Yeah,
of
because it's
course.
easier for everyone,
Of
and then
course.
it's just not a big decision to go to another country to play a gig or something. Do you see that also? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. But I'm also on your side, kind of. Of course, it's easier to work with a smaller formation because it's easier to travel for them. Or like a duo, they can have a flight set maybe, and can travel more or like train, but also I'm a big fan of actual band formats, and when I work with artists, I always try to suggest them that they have different setups. So if there is a 7-piece band, obviously it would be great if like they were booked as like the original setup, but we all know, and we all struggling with finance, and bands especially, but if you have different setups, then you can offer different setups. And if you just have like this big formation, then the booker would say, no, I'm sorry, I only have small stages. At Waves, it gets really, really cozy on stage, like if you are with 7 or 8 people. Although I booked some of these formations also, but I also had a lot of duos, or even just like DJ with a vocalist or something.
Yeah, I totally agree. And actually, I was talking about the band that I have that are 8 people. And I suggested, because they really wanted to go abroad, so I was like, okay, let's see if you can make like a smaller set. And they are touring in 4, and it's going quite well. Of course, it's a different show, but maybe someday they will be able to do the 8 people one as well.
Yeah. Okay, great. Last chance for questions from the audience. If not, then thank you for coming and being here.
Thank you.
And hope you stay around for the next sessions, and thank you.
Thank you.